Mentioned the 3 victories this year for Hamlin. Oh, that was a little OSU because we're in Michigan, right? He's kind of jumped on the Buckeye bandwagon, huh?
The aftermath of Sunday's FireKeepers Casino 400 at Michigan International Speedway delivered more than just Denny Hamlin's 3rd victory of the 2025 season. Ross Chastain's post-race comments exposed a brutal reality about Team Penske's current struggles, while the latest standings reveal a shocking decline for one of NASCAR's most successful organizations. Denny Hamlin executed a fuel-saving masterclass at Michigan, restarting at the back end of the top 10 before methodically working through the field. The number 11 Joe Gibbs Racing driver took the lead with just 4 laps remaining, passing a fuel-starved William Byron to secure his 3rd Cup Series victory of 2025. Hamlin said this during his post-race interview on the Fox Sports set. "I do have a lot of fun with it. I do thrive in it because you feel like you've got 60,000 people rooting against you, and when you have that, it feels excellent and gratifying to prove them wrong. I love that feeling. It makes these wins more gratifying to me." The victory moved Hamlin up 1 spot to 3rd in the regular season standings, surpassing his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate Christopher Bell. Hamlin's wins at Martinsville, Darlington, and Michigan have positioned him as a serious championship contender after 15 races. Ross Chastain started 20th at Michigan, but elevated his position to finish 6th. The Trackhouse Racing driver initially believed he could compete for the victory during the final run. That confidence evaporated when Hamlin passed him late in the race. "When Denny Hamlin passed me on that last run, I was like, I don't have that. So hats off to those guys. They've been impressive. We just haven't been quite that good to drive up and pass those guys, but it was a solid 6th-place finish for the number 1 Chevrolet team," Chastain stated via NBC Sports. His candid admission revealed the performance deficit between Trackhouse and the sport's elite organizations. Chastain's fuel-saving strategy during the second half of the run positioned him well, but the raw speed advantage of Hamlin's Toyota became undeniable. Chastain explained, "We saved fuel the whole second half of the run, so we were fine there at the end, and I was able to start pushing hard again. I couldn't really make much more lap time. You're off the gas for 20 laps, and you think, oh, I'm giving up all this lap time, and you go and get a 10th back on a big track like this. I think we finished about where we should have." The post-Michigan standings delivered devastating news for Team Penske. Joey Logano's poor performance in the number 22 Ford resulted in his demotion from 8th to 9th position. Chastain's 6th-place finish at Michigan elevated him to 8th, directly displacing the former Cup Series champion. Austin Cindric suffered an even more dramatic fall. His 31st-place finish dropped him from 13th to 16th in the standings. The magnitude of this decline becomes more significant considering Cindric's previous momentum and Team Penske's championship expectations. Logano's struggles represent a concerning trend for Roger Penske's organization. The 3-time Cup Series champion has failed to demonstrate the consistency expected from a driver of his caliber. His demotion to 9th place highlights Team Penske's inability to maintain competitive performance across their driver lineup. Cindric's situation provides some relief due to his Talladega victory earlier this season, which locked him into the playoffs regardless of his current standings position. However, his 15th position swing from 13th to 16th reveals the volatility affecting Team Penske's performance. The Michigan result extends Chastain's impressive 2025 campaign. His movement to 8th in the standings reflects consistent performance that has established him as Trackhouse Racing's undisputed leader. The 32-year-old has accumulated 8 top 10 finishes and 3 top 5 results through the season's first portion. Chastain's Coca-Cola 600 victory remains the highlight of his season. After crashing during qualifying and starting 40th, he defied expectations by reaching victory lane. This triumph demonstrated his ability to overcome adversity and capitalize on strategic opportunities. Definitely proud of the effort we put forward that day. Looking for more of that. We coming off a 6th place at Michigan and had a chance at a top 5. Not quite good enough to win like we were at Charlotte, but we weren't far off. And I was talking with my team this morning as we debriefed, and it's definitely good times at Trackhouse right now, Chastain said during his Pocono visit. His 158 laps led and playoff qualification provide additional evidence of his competitive evolution. Chastain has emerged as a legitimate championship contender while serving as Trackhouse Racing's primary representative in the playoff picture. Former NASCAR driver Jeff Burton analyzed Kyle Busch's current struggles during the NASCAR Inside the Race podcast. Burton, who competed in 695 Cup Series races and earned recognition as one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers, identified Busch's situation as particularly concerning.
Well, I'm focused on him for multiple reasons. Number one, he just had a contract extension. Number two, he talked about Denny Hamlin and his speed that he still has at this time in his career. And that's confidence building.
Busch's last victory occurred at Gateway in 2023. His best 2025 finish came at Circuit of the Americas in March, where he placed fifth after leading late before tire degradation ended his victory hopes. His P12 finish at Nashville moved him into the top 16 and above the playoff cutoff line. His P8 at Michigan further strengthened his position.
I've been there. I've done this. So I can put myself in Kyle Busch's shoes. He hasn't exhibited that speed, and we can talk about why, teams, whatever. But the truth of the matter is, he hasn't had the success over the last 3 or 4 years that we're accustomed to seeing from Kyle Busch. And I don't care who you are, that is confidence breaking.
The two-time Cup Series champion faces the challenging task of elevating Richard Childress Racing to compete with established powerhouses. Burton described this mission as emotionally draining for the 40-year-old veteran.
And so Kyle Busch is trying to take this team, take RCR, take the fight to Joe Gibbs Racing, take the fight to Penske, take the fight to Hendrick. And it's hard. It's difficult. And he's doing it in a way that instead of fighting for a championship at the moment, he's fighting to see if he can contend for a championship. And emotionally, that's draining. Emotionally, that's difficult. And this is a brutal sport. This sport will you love it, and at the same time, it'll rip your heart out. And so we're watching Kyle Busch.
Denny Hamlin addressed concerns about 23XI Racing's future following a federal appeals court ruling that overturned their preliminary injunction. The court decision potentially strips 23XI and Front Row Motorsports of their chartered status, forcing them to qualify as open entries. The financial implications are substantial. Hamlin described the difference between chartered and open entry status as worth tens of millions of dollars. Despite this threat, Hamlin reaffirmed his team's commitment to completing the 2025 season. Hamlin said, "Same as what we said in December, is that we're committed to running this season open if we have to, even before they decided on the injunction. So we're going to race and fulfill all of our commitments no matter what. We're here to race. Our team is going to be here for the long haul, and we're confident of that." 23XI. Racing has maintained transparency with employees throughout the legal proceedings. Hamlin emphasized the organization's commitment to staff stability regardless of the charter situation outcome. "We've been very transparent with all of our employees during this entire process. Every time something comes along, we communicate that before it becomes public. So we've been very transparent. One of the things we remain steadfast in saying is that nothing will change in their lives, and we're going to make sure that everyone's taken care of and everyone should plan on work as scheduled," Hamlin explained. William Byron maintains the points lead despite his Michigan fuel disaster and 28th place finish. Kyle Larson has closed the gap to just 41 points, setting up a potential battle between the Hendrick Motorsports teammates as the season progresses. Hamlin's rise to third position strengthens his championship credentials. His 3 victories and consistent performance have established him as a legitimate title contender alongside Byron and Larson.